I know that I have been talking a lot about the juries, but we gotta do it one more time. We talked about where they agreed and disagreed with the televoters, but let's take a deeper look into the juries. How did the ladies vote compared to the gentlemen? Maybe there's a difference in age brackets. Let's find out together. Let's dissect the jury results. Let's talk Eurovision. What's up, you fools? Matt is United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and yes, another video about the Eurovision Song Contest 2019, and I promise after this we're finally moving on to 2020, but I still gotta talk about the juries. If you know me by now, I love numbers, I love statistics, so I really took a closer look at the jury results in detail, and I want to talk to you about it. Has there been a discrepancy between the women and the men voting? Maybe younger folks disagreed with the older folks. I can only use the juries because there's no breakout with the televote. And maybe did the semifinal 1 participants had a different taste than the semifinal 2 ones? All that kind of stuff I'm here to talk about. So we love Eurovision. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, as we do this all year long. Talk about Eurovision and take a deeper look into the numbers. But let's get this thing, but let's get going. All right. As pointed out, let's talk about age first. Did the younger folks voted differently than the older ones? And just a little bit of a dive into the numbers. So first of all, I added up all jurors' age because they're available on Eurovision.tv, and the average age of a juror is 41.1 years. So that is close to what it was last year. So this is about where they usually go with average-wise. The oldest juror in 2019 is 82, and the youngest one 17. So anything in between, from between 82 and 17, those are the numbers. It's a very interesting, a wide range. That is exactly what we want to see at Eurovision. Now let's take a look at the juries overall. Who had the oldest jury on average? So I looked at their age, and the oldest jury this year comes from Serbia. Serbia's average age of the jurors is 51.2, so 10 years above the average, which is quite a big number. They had one person over the age of 60, one over 52 in their late 40s, so that brings up the numbers quite a bit. So Serbia had the oldest jury of the year. The second oldest jury comes from Greece. Greece's average age is 50.8. Well, not Greece's overall, but that of the jury, that is. So just behind Serbia is Greece. And the third oldest jury is Estonia, 49.6 years. That is the average coming from the Estonian jury. But let's also take a look at the youngest juries. Who are they? Where are they coming from? The youngest jury with an average of 32.8. So about 9 years below the average is Armenia. So that's quite surprising to me. I didn't expect Armenia to have the youngest jury. The oldest person is 47. 2 of the people are in the 20s, 2 in their 30s. So definitely younger than all other juries, actually. Interestingly enough, the second youngest jury is coming from the United Kingdom. And the UK tends to go with a younger crowd, I've noticed, because I think they were also the second youngest last year when I did this video. The average age is 33. And they're tied in second place, actually, because the jury from Switzerland also has an average age of 33. That is over 8 years younger than the average. So these are the 3 youngest juries out there. Interesting, huh? Okay, so let's take a look at the actual age brackets, for the lack of a better word, and see if there's a difference in their taste. I broke them out in between 60 years and up, 50 to 59, 40 to 49, 30 to 39, and under 30, just to have like a decent sample in each bracket. So let's start this time around with the people under the age of 30 and take a look at their top 10 first, and then compare to the other brackets. So if you only look at the under 30 folks, Italy is their number 1. So yes, Italy, as you know, Mahmoud Soldi finished in 4th place overall with the juries, but if it were up to the youngsters, if you will, they would have given Italy actually the victory. The second place goes to the Netherlands, finished third overall with the juries as well, so definitely above that. Sweden third, and North Macedonia, which ultimately, after they fixed the results, finished in first place, won the jury vote, is only in fourth place with the younger folks. So that is a very interesting observation, and I will talk more about that in just a second, because there's another interesting curve there. Some other things I wanted to point out is Malta. Malta is really high with the folks under the age of 30. Malta, I believe, finished in 10th place with the juries overall. However, as you can see, 5th place with the people under the age of 30, all from 17 to 30, basically, or 29, I should say. 5th place for Malta. So, I mean, common sense dictates that Malta didn't do quite as well with the older folks, but we'll talk about that in a second as well. Something else that stands out to me is France is actually in the top 10 with these people. By these people, I mean the younger folks. France finished in 13th place overall with the juries, and it just is a very young song with a young singer, and it definitely has a message that resonates with the people coming out, you know, whether they're being bullied or feel like they're not part of their community for whatever reason, and the message spoke to them. It was enough for France to make it into the top 10. Clearly, overall, that wasn't the case. Just another interesting observation. Two other songs I wanted to bring up that are not in the top 10, but were on my radar is Australia. As you can see, is not even in the top 10 with the youngsters, for the lack of a better word, which is very interesting because Australia finished in 6th place with the juries. It's just not appealing to those that are, you know, in their 20s or in their teens. Again, they'll be way higher with the older folks. And United Kingdom, interesting enough, didn't do too well with the juries. We already know by that by now. They finished in 24th place. However, for some reason, United Kingdom left an impact with the younger folks as Michael Rice finished in 16th place, if it were only up to the youngsters. Very interesting. Real quick here on the side, the bottom three of the people under the age of 30 were Israel in 24th, Spain in 25th, and San Marino in last place. All right, let's put up the results for the people 30 to 39 and see if they voted differently or where the discrepancies are. In first place for these folks here, as you can see, Sweden. Sweden initially won the jury vote, but once they fixed the votes from Belarus, they dropped to second place in the jury results. If it were up to the people in this age bracket, Sweden should have won. Once again, Netherlands in a safe second place here. And North Macedonia slowly working their way up, now in third place with these people. I don't know why I keep calling these people. It sounds so condescending. Another thing I wanted to point out, Italy, that won the vote with the youngsters, dropped to 6th place in this group already. So a significant difference. Italy, a young song, I guess? Is that a fair thing to say? So that is a very interesting observation. And other than that, the rest of it looks kind of right with the overall results. Australia now in the top 10, actually. The only thing that I want to still point out is, again, the bottom three. In 24th place, and that surprises me, is actually Greece. Greece was not popular with the people in this group. I think Greece was in 14th place with the juries. But people aged 30 to 39 weren't having it. 24th place, then Spain 25, and San Marino 26. All right, my friends, 40 to 49. This is about you now. Let's see how you voted. And once again, we have a different number one. This time, it's the actual winner, Duncan Lawrence, the Netherlands. 40 to 49, that is your sweet spot when it comes to your demographic. Yes, Netherlands finished only in third place with the juries, but if it were up to the people, this age bracket, he would have won. Once again, North Macedonia continues to work their way up. The older the people get, the more they like it. Just a very interesting observation. And here is Australia. Australia in 4th place. Once again, with the people under the age of 30, it was in 12th place. Here, it's almost in the top 3. You can see there is a huge difference, age difference, taste here. Very interesting. Once again, Italy in 6th place. This is where, I guess, Mahmoud is sitting. It was really the youngster that brought him up. It's just a very interesting observation. The rest of the top 10 looks about right. Quick look at the bottom three. 24th place, Israel. 25, Spain. And 26, once again, poor San Marino. Interestingly enough, Spain is always in second to last, but finished last with the juries overall. But it's just the way the points were attributed, and you know how it goes. Moving up, 50 to 59. Who's your favorite? Or was the jury's favorite, I should say. And you guessed it right. Fourth with the youngsters, then third place and second, and now North Macedonia won the jury vote with the people 50 to 59. So as I pointed out, it's the most interesting progress here that this country, this song Tomorrow is doing. So very interesting observation. You can also see Azerbaijan now in second place. Another interesting improvement. Azerbaijan also was climbing, was seventh with the people under the age of 30, then fourth with the 30s, third with the ones in the 40s, and now the people in the 50s, second place. So those two songs definitely has a very interesting curve there. Italy once again in sixth place, so it sits pretty there for the rest of the people. Netherlands drops a little to fourth place, but the one that I want to point out, this is the first time that Denmark enters the top 10 with one of the groups. Denmark in 10th place with the people 50 to 59, and I kind of predicted that in my videos previously. I thought that there is a place for that song, even though younger folks think this song is too sweet and boring. It is a very charming song for people of a certain age, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Another one I wanted to point out is Estonia, not in the top 10, but was in 14th place overall, which is a significant difference, as this is also a song that grew in the rankings as people get older. It was in 23rd place with the people under the age of 30, so almost in the bottom three. But here, it is really like 10 places up already. So another interesting observation. Here's the bottom three for the people in the 50s. Germany in 24th, Israel 25th, and guess what? San Marino in last place. At least there is one consistent last place here, or is there? The last group I wanted to point out are people 60 and up, and there were less people in that bucket, so the numbers may be a little skewed, but it's still a very interesting story. And let me start, of course, as you can see here, with the first place. It's Azerbaijan. So every single age group had a different favorite this year. How interesting is that? And maybe it's not that surprising considering there was no landslide winner. The points were pretty close this year, which made it a fun thing to watch. But Azerbaijan is the number one for people over the age of 60, gradually working their way up. North Macedonia in second place, no surprise there. And the rest of it, you know, kind of in line with the rest. The only difference, and that surprised me a lot, is Belarus in the top 10 with the people 60 and up. Keep in mind, just because it's in the top 10, it doesn't mean that they gave Belarus a lot of points, because it's just the way points were distributed, right? It's the same thing like Albania, what happened in the semis. Albania finished 12th with the juries and televoters, but due to the way the points were allocated, it still qualified. And I think something similar happened with Belarus. Belarus wasn't in a lot of top 10s with the juries, but it's still, when you add them all up, that's where they ended up. Some other interesting observations. Estonia in 12th place, as pointed out, worked their way up. Estonia, a song for the older folks, I guess. That is the best way to describe it. And Germany did the best, I think, also with these people. 16th place overall. Interesting. And here's the bottom three. First time something different here. Greece 24th, Slovenia 25th. Let that sink in. They did not like Slovenia. It was not a song for them. And last place, Israel. I thought that would be a song that they would actually embrace. Interestingly enough, San Marino not even in the bottom three here with them. They were in 22nd place, so it wasn't like a fantastic result, but at least they escaped the bottom three just this one time. So these are the results of, you know, breaking out the jury results by age. What do you think? Now, we all watch the show and know who the juries put in first place. We know all the 12 pointers. If not, make sure to watch the video on the official Eurovision channel to see how the juries voted, who they gave their 12 points to. But let's focus also on their last places. Who were their least favorites? Let's take a look. I added up all the last places of each jury and combined them, and the country that received the most last places maybe doesn't come as a surprise. By far the most last places. Keep in mind, they're up to 40 last places you could potentially get. San Marino got 13 of them, so the most last places for them. Oh wow, they still finished in second to last overall, but that was just maybe too polarizing, I don't know. And then with the huge gap, this country that got the second highest number of last places was actually Greece. Greece received 5 last places. They still did a whole lot better with the juries overall, but again, not everyone liked it apparently. And then we have a 3-way tie for the third place, or third most last places. Slovenia got 3, Israel got 3, and Albania got 3 as well. So these are the countries that received the most last places from the juries overall. But I also want to take a look at each individual juror. This was just the entire jury per country. Let's add up each individual juror's last place and see if there is a difference. Let's look at the top 5 or bottom 5, whatever you want to call it, of the juror's last place individually, not just as the whole country's jury. And in first place, once again, San Marino doesn't come as a surprise. 63 jurors put Serhat in last place. Not surprising, but I didn't expect to be that high. And then, same thing, second to last place, Greece. But there's once again a huge gap. 25 jurors said it was the worst song of the night. 25, still a significant number. But right behind it, just one juror less in third place, Iceland. We all knew that Iceland would be polarizing anyway, and I think these numbers prove it. Iceland didn't do fantastic with the jurors. A lot of people just didn't like it. Third most last places for Hatari, Iceland, so I guess hate did prevail to a certain extent here. And who is in fourth place? It's Albania, 13 last places, and then there is a tie, a 3-way tie again for fifth place with a total of 12 last places, and that's Slovenia, Israel, and España, Spain. They got 12 last places. Now that we focused on the bad, let's focus on the good as well. We already know how each jury voted, but each jury member, let's take a look at that and see which country received the most first places. Because we don't know the individual votes, just a combined jury result. So let's take a look at that. This country received the most first places, adding up all individual jurors. And it is, interesting result, Italy. Italy received 31 first places from the jurors, which is very interesting considering it only, once again, finished in fourth place overall, but it was just very well liked by a lot of people, and then not quite as understood by others, but most people gave it first place 31. Pretty good for Italy. In second place, guess not as big of a surprise, it's Sweden. John Lundvik received 28 gold medals, followed by the eventual jury winner, North Macedonia, 24 first places overall. Then in fourth place, it's Duncan Lawrence, the actual winner of the contest. 17 jurors said it deserved to win. They got it right in the end, right? And then in fifth place, another interesting observation is actually Russia. Sergei Lazarev, 16 first places in the juries. He only finished in ninth place with the juries overall, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see another polarizing entry here. But this is the top 5 based on first places by each juror. All right, let's take a look at the votes broken out by gender. How did the women vote compared to the men? Is there a difference or not? Let's find out together. Let's start with the ladies. So the women put North Macedonia in first place. It's a very women empowering song, so I guess this does not come as a surprise. North Macedonia wins the women vote. There, interestingly enough, if you look at the top 10, there's not a whole lot of craziness going on with the overall ranking. Netherlands in second place, Sweden in third. I mean, there's like a position up and down here and there, but for the most part, it represents the overall jury results there. The interesting part here is the, actually before I go into that, let me just take a look at the bottom 3. Israel, Spain, and San Marino seems to be like where things are happening anyway there with the last places overall. Then the male actually put North Macedonia only in third place. Again, it's still a fantastic result, but you can see it definitely spoke more to the women than the gentlemen. So it's just a very interesting observation. They thought Duncan Lawrence deserved to win. They put Arcade in first place. So they got their wish in the end, interestingly enough, but that's how it turned out. The rest, once again, is very similar and close to what the women did. in the voting, and their bottom three is almost identical. 24th Spain, 25 Israel, and 26 again San Marino. So not a huge difference there. It's just, a little bit. The North Macedonian song is the biggest one that stands out here. Now, we all know that everyone that takes part in Eurovision is allowed to vote in the grand final. That includes the 26 finalists as well as the 15 songs or countries that failed to qualify. Did they have different tastes when it comes to the results? Let's take a look. Let's start with the ones that are actually in the final, the 26 finalists. How they voted. I broke out the 50 non-qualifiers. So the finalists voted this way. They thought Sweden should have won, with the Netherlands in second place, North Macedonia in third place. And then they put Czech Republic in 10th place only, and it's a little lower than what the overall score is, which then leads us to believe that Lake Malawi did way better with the semifinalists. Other than that, the numbers seem fairly consistent with the overall ranking. Their bottom three, Israel, Spain, and San Marino. I don't even have to put it on screen here. Same thing. That seems to be very consistent. Let's take a look at the 15 countries combined jury results and see if there is the difference. And there is. I mean, it's not out of this world different, but it's still interesting. Netherlands is the number one with the semifinalists. Czech Republic is the biggest difference here. 4th place overall, which was only in 10th place with the finalists. Something worked with this, those that were eliminated with that song. And other than that, very similar. Their bottom three is Greece, Spain, and San Marino. Just another statistics I wanted to throw at you. Now, the last thing I want to throw at you is how did the participants of semifinal 1 vote compared to the ones in semi 2, as well as the Big Five and host country, the 6 direct finalists. If there's a discrepancy, maybe if you're in a specific semifinal, you vote a certain way for the songs that you already heard once before. Or maybe there's not a big difference at all. Let's find out. Starting with semi-final 1. Here is their result. So if we only look at the jurors from semi-final 1, Sweden should have won the jury vote. Once again, it was such a close jury vote anyway, so it's not a big deal. But they thought Sweden should have won. Sweden was in the second semifinal. Netherlands, second semifinal. Azerbaijan, second semifinal. North Macedonia, second semifinal. Although it's interesting that North Macedonia is a little lower. Czech Republic, though, 5th place, the highest ranked semifinal 1 participant. It'll be definitely lower with the semifinal 2 participants. I'm going to spoil that for you right now. Italy, Switzerland, Australia is the other first semifinal participant in the top 10, as well as Slovenia. Slovenia in 10th place. Once again, I will spoil it for you. It is not in the top 10 with the semifinal 2 participants. So you can definitely see that if you're taking part in a semifinal before, you tend to vote for those songs more, even with the jurors. So it's just interesting. Real quick, Serbia was in 12th place, Cyprus 14, Iceland 15, Greece 17, Estonia 18, Belarus 21st, and San Marino still last place, even with the people from semifinal 1. So, let's take a look at the semifinal 2. That was the difficult semi, and if you look at the results of the grand final, it's exactly most of the songs from semifinal 2 did much better. And that's reflected in their results as well. They put North Macedonia in first place if you only look at the jurors from semifinal 2. Netherlands second. The top 6, as you can see, everyone in the top 6 is from semifinal 2 here. And Russia is super high with the semifinal 2 jurors as well. 5th place overall. It didn't even make the top 10 with the semifinal 1 jurors. So Russia definitely benefited from being part in the second semifinal. People already had a connection to the song, maybe? Who knows? Then Malta is in 9th place. Also was not in the top 10 with the semifinal 1 jurors. So it definitely, you can see there is an interesting trend. And it's only reflected in the other results as well. Norway not in the top 10 there with the jurors, but it was in 12th place, while it was only in 20th place with the semifinal 1 folks. Denmark in 13th, it was 16th with the semifinal 1 folks. And it's just a pattern there, right? If you take part in a specific semifinal, the jurors tend to vote for those songs more because they've already heard it, they're more familiar with it. So it's a very interesting observation I just wanted to throw out there as well. Let's see if the direct finalists have any kind of different taste. Keep in mind they were also able to vote in one of the semis, so their view may be skewed there as well. But as you can see, the Netherlands, Australia, Sweden, North Macedonia, Azerbaijan, Italy. The only difference here is that France got a good amount of points from the direct finalists, 8th place, higher than semifinal 1 or semifinal 2 results. But other than that, it is pretty in line with the semi 1 and semi 2 votes. Nothing too crazy going on there. But it's just a very interesting thing to observe. And we have the data to back it up now. If you are in a certain semi, it's more likely for the jurors to vote for those songs as well. There you have it. I just wanted to share that data with you. I just love delving into the numbers and see what they're doing, the trending, and all of that stuff. It's just something I get really excited about. Would love to hear from you. Leave your thoughts below and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will be back with my next video helping you with the post-Eurovision depression. Let's not get into this. Let's focus on Eurovision 2020 starting now. Talk to y'all later.